Oh, Grit. Where's where's Gregory? Well, something neat, fans. This is new. This is a new thing. I was gone for 2 weeks. Greg is gone. We didn't have a chance to record an episode, but we wanted to get something out. So I'm going to be doing a short solo one. We're going to call this one "Something Neat Anthony's Private Stock," to allow me to not just sit here and talk at you. I am going to give just a quick uh, description of the bottle that I'm going to drink. I'm doing this one because I know Greg doesn't have a bottle of it. It's pretty hard to come by if you don't actually live in the Carolinas. But I am doing it, picking this one as a shout out to and the wish of safety for anybody in North and South Carolina right now that are dealing with the hurricane. So this is actually going to be Jimmy Red from Highwire Distilling Co. out of Charleston, South Carolina. You can get your hands on a small batch of this. It is possible. This is the single barrel that they typically only sell in the actual stores. So it is going to be pretty tricky to get this. The special thing about their blend is that they have a proprietary like red corn strain. And that's the corn that they use in their mash bill. And you would think that it wouldn't make that big of a difference. But you would be absolutely wrong. Trying to see finest corn, smooth, silky, rich. So I have tried it there, and I did open this. Let's get a quick. That's a good pop. So I have had this before. I tried it there. Let's get a finger or two, a little extra because my Steelers lost today. Tasting notes wise, it's going to be pretty solid. On the nose, you get oak and char, for sure, but it's almost like a corn whiskey. It's not. It is still a straight bourbon whiskey. They call it sweet mash. I think that's because it's probably a little bit more corn, but it's not enough corn to be a corn whiskey. You still get a lot of the corn on the nose, though. Cheers to you guys. So there is some burn because it is barrel proof. If you want to proof it down yourself, add a little bit of water. Totally acceptable. We're sitting at 113 proof. I like it as is. I don't mind that little bit of burn. You only get it with the first couple sips. A lot of really complex flavors. Like I said, you get a lot of the corn. You do get that sweet in the back. You do get that sweet in the back, and it is really delicious. Like I said, we're doing, Anthony's private stock because I'm never going to actually get to display this one in a regular episode where it's Greg and I. But since we did not record an episode because I was in Las Vegas, I figured this would be a great opportunity to do something a little bit different. Apologies to the typical podcast listeners. This is going to be slightly hard to follow if you're not watching the video. But I am going to do a short video on different table games that for a lot of people can be a little bit intimidating to play. We will probably do a larger episode of this at some point or another. But I'm going to do craps because a lot of people don't know how to play craps, and I recently learned how to play craps, and it's a lot of fun. We're going to do blackjack. Excuse me. Baccarat. And if I feel like we want to keep going, my personal favorite, Mississippi Stud. So, without further ado, another sip. It's really good. For one, it's really smooth for being 113 proof. Delicious. So I'm gonna actually transition my scene here. So this is just a emulator I found that lets you basically simulate games. If anybody wants to try it, I literally just typed in free online casino games, and I got this one. This shout out, Wizard of Odds. That's actually really funny. I didn't notice that the first time. Wizardofodds.com. Assuming you can sign up and do some stuff and like maintain your balances, but for the purposes of our podcast here, so I'm going to start with craps. So craps is a really simple dice game, and when I say really simple, the dealers are incredibly helpful. They are, if you tell them that you have not played, they will help you. They're going to tell you when to pick up your chips. They're going to help you press. They're going to work with you there. So I'm actually going to check this leave winning bets up. That's what I like to do. I don't like to pull down money like during a roll. So the idea with craps is you have your 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Sevens are bad unless there's not a point on. I'll explain that in a minute. And then you have, so everything, really the easiest way to look at this is everything in yellow basically stays up until a 7 is rolled, as long as there's a point on. Everything in red is a one-time bet only. It's like simple enough. So like the come bet, one-time bet. Any craps, one-time bet. Sevens, one-time bet, all that. If you look at the right-hand side, so those are called the hard ways. You're going to see like 2 2s as a 4, so that's like a hard 4, a hard 10. If you're going to play craps in a casino, the other thing to remember is that the dealers or the workers are going to place the bets for you. You don't like reach, other than the pass line, you don't like reach in and like place per se. Like you tell them what you want it on. A pretty common craps bet is like to just like go across. So when I say go across, you just like bet across this line. I'm gonna play a little bit more conservatively, just to demonstrate like, playing on like a real table, and you don't stand up with like a ton of money. So we're just gonna play with $25 chips, easiest thing. So this pass line, it's that line that's gonna be right in front of you. You put $25 on the pass line. There's odds, we're not gonna talk about those are. So money on the pass line, we're gonna roll with this little point marker off. What that means is that there's no point on. So with the point marker off, sevens are, this is the only time ever. Point off, only time that sevens are good, because sevens pay this pass line. So I'm gonna click roll, we got our dice. Okay, points on 10, not great. Reason being, this pass line and your odds behind the pass line. So now that a point is on, I can put odds behind my pass bet. So I can put up to 3 times my pass line bet. This only, the pass line and the odds behind the pass line only pay. Now they only pay if you hit the number that you originally rolled. So points on 10. So the pass line bet isn't going to pay out again until another 10 is rolled. And the reason that's, anybody that plays D&D or like other dice games, like sevens are the most common. 6s and 8s are common after that. 4s and 5s, and then 9s and 10s. It's like there's less combinations that get you to that number. There's the most combinations for 6, 7, 8. So I'm just going to put a little bit of money up. So I'm going to play 5, 6, 7, 8. Or 5, 6, 8, 9. So I'm just playing the middle. And then for fun, we're going to throw $5 on hard 6. So you're going to see how these stay up as I roll. So I roll. So I rolled a 4. Nothing happens. I roll a 4. I don't have any money on 4. I didn't play 4. If I would have bet hard 4, that money would have came down. So these hard bets, the money comes down if it's that number. So like a 3 and a 1 is a 4. But it's not 2 2s, so I would have lost it and I'd have to put it back up. So we're going to roll again. Okay, so we rolled an 8. So we got paid on the 8, leaving the winnings up. You can do what is called pressing. So if you hit a number, you can actually press a little bit. I usually like to get back what I have on the table first, and then use the casino's money to bet more money, if that makes sense. So if I have $20 up, I want to wait until enough rolls have hit that I get my $20 back. And then if another number hits, then I want to take that money and I want to press my bets using the casino's money, not my money. So roll again. So rolled a 9, so 9 pays. So right now we're at $35. We've won $35. Now we have 210 out there, but we've won 35 so far. So let's roll again. See, there's a hard 4. I didn't bet 4, but if I would have bet hard, see, now I want to bet hard 4 because I think I might come out again. But bet hard 4. So nothing happened. Still money's still up. 215 out. All right, there's an 11. Nothing happens. You can if you bet the field, you can win on an 11. There's my hard 4. So that just paid 9 to 1. So that's $35 just right there. And we hit a 10. So this money stays. This money stays. Pass line bet stays. Your odds come back. The point goes off. So now that we rolled that point that was on, so we rolled a 10, point went on a 10, rolled off, and here we go. Whole idea of craps is to just keep rolling. So I'm going to roll again. 3 craps, you lose your pass line bet. That's okay. We're going to go through one more round of this. Okay, so points on 6 now, but it's 6 the wrong way. So I had 6 hard way, so it's 6 the wrong way. So if I put $5 more on 6, all right, let's roll again. So just hit hard way 6, paid 6, paid here, point came off, won the pass line. So it's really, really simple. That was $100 just in one roll. They will help you. Craps is very, very simple. I personally had a really good time playing craps. I took $200 and made a bunch of money that I eventually ended up giving back to the casino. But you can, if you get on a hot roll or somebody's rolling really well playing craps and you learn how to do it, you can, it's a lot of fun. The table's really energetic and you can make a good chunk of change quickly. You can also lose a chunk of change really quickly. I'm just gonna like sim some rolls really fast. So there's 9, there's 6, there's another 6. All right, there's 7. So we're out. So that was, I don't know how many rolls, but we're up $296 on that. So that's craps. Gonna take another drink. It gets even, like, just on the back of the palate, it gets even sweeter. All right, so let's go back. So that's craps. So now we're going to go to everybody's favorite, blackjack. Now, everyone plays blackjack. There are rules. I'm gonna get on my soapbox really quick. There are rules to blackjack. It's called the book. You can ask the dealer, what does the book say? And the book is basically just like this diagram hex. It's basically what it's broken down to. What is, there are certain things that you're mathematically supposed to do when you have certain cards and the dealer is showing a certain card, no matter what. I say this all the time. I say it at the casino all the time. Blackjack is a team sport. There's, like, it just is. There's no, there is no I in team. If you're playing by yourself and you want to do stupid shit, it's your money. But if there's other people at the table, don't split tens. Don't stay on a 12 on a dealer 10. Like, don't do stupid stuff. You might not win every hand, but if the whole table plays the rules, the math says that you will do better as a group than if you have somebody up front just going rogue, because every card you take is a card someone else theoretically should have gotten. For great example, like, you pull a 10 and the dealer shows like 12, if it's a hand you shouldn't have hit and you hit it, you took that 10 away from the dealer. Now the dealer doesn't bust and everybody loses. So blackjack is a team sport. Remember that. And we're going to play a couple of hands of blackjack. So we're going to deal. So 9, so a 12. Totally fine. Now, conventional wisdom would say that you should hit here. No. You have a 12. Dealer has a bust card. You can, theoretically, because it's a 12, there's a lot of cards that help you. You could hit. I don't think you're supposed to. Somebody check the book, but I'm going to stand. So I lost, but that's fine. Dealer pulled 17. That's supposed to be a 10. And then the next card's supposed to be a 10. So it's a little bit hard to... Dealer says surrender allowed splits double splits allowed. Deck 6. Let's go to 2-card deck. It's going to go all the way back. Let's go back in. Alright, so we're starting with $1,000. Let's play $100 hands and see what we do here. Okay, so 13 on a 4. This is for sure a stand. There's not a lot that can help me. That's not supposed to happen, but it did. That's fine. New hand. Okay, so I have 5. I have 10 on a dealer 8. So I could double here if I really wanted to. If I wanted to be really ballsy, I could double here and hope for a 10, which I'm supposed to have. But I am just going to take a hit because dealer's showing an 8. 18. I'll stand there. 4, 12. This doesn't normally happen like this. I've literally not seen a face card. I don't like this simulator. It's not really great for me telling you or showing you how to do these. So we'll deal again. So I have a jack. Okay, so 16 on an 8. I always hit 16s. You're typically... I'm not going to say you're supposed to. Again, your money, do what you want. But dealer has an 8. You have to assume every down card and every next card is a 10. That's the whole point. That's like when you're thinking about blackjack, that's what you're thinking. Every next card is most likely a 10. Every down card that the dealer has, most likely a 10. So if the dealer has, and I assume it's an 18, I have 16, I'm not winning. I just lose. So it's better for me to take a hit than to just have him flip a 10 and lose. And I busted 22. But I was right. He did have an 8. So I had to take that card. I had to take that chance of getting a 4-3, 2 ace. That kind of thing. So we'll just rebet. Okay, so 16. Okay, so what you just saw there, dealer has a king. They check to see if they have a blackjack. So 16 on a king. Literally the same thing we just did when there was an 8. I assume that's a 10. I do not have a winning hand. I have to take a hit. I bust. That's okay. They had a 6, so they would have had to have hit. The simulator is not... So, okay, so this is a great example. So I have a 6 and a 4. So that's 10 total. Dealer has a 2. You definitely take a hit here, no matter what. If you have, like, not 8, 9, 10, 11, always take a hit. 11 is always a double. 10 is sometimes a double. Against the 2... I'm down money, so I am going to double this. Dealer busts. That's what's supposed to happen. So they get a 4, another 10, and then another 10. So that's 24, too many. I doubled, so I just win 400. So we go back up. Queen, 14 on a 16. Same deal, except you think you should hit, but you shouldn't. 4, 5, and 6 are dealer bust cards, because if they flip a 10, there's the most cards in the deck possible for them to bust. So the dealer shows a 6. I have a 14. I'm going to stand. Well, that's just unlucky. He had a 4 underneath. So it's a 10. Drew a king, because you have to assume every next card's a 10. And he won. So we're down $300. Kind of getting the bricks beat off us right now. But that's okay. So we get to double on a 2. So a 6 and a 5. It's 11. Dealer shows a 2. So you double. I got 19. Dealer busts. Cool. It's going to run one more, see if we can get us back to even. Oh, and player blackjack on a dealer 20 pays 3-2. So blackjacks pay 3-2. Good to go. We didn't get a dealer ace. I was hoping to get a dealer ace to explain what insurance is. But we just went through, I don't know, maybe 10 hands, and we're up $50. So that's the thing with blackjack, is you can kind of just float back and forth, or you can win 7 or 8 hands in a row and clean up, or you can just like lose 10 straight hands and lose all your money. It can be a little bit fickle. We're not going to get into card counting because that's a whole thing. But that is if you take away one thing from this short video regarding blackjack, it's you assume every down card is a 10. You assume every next card is a 10, but even though you're assuming every next card is a 10, you know that there are other ones. So if you don't have a winning hand, you got to take your hits against dealers' good hands. So if they have an 8, 9, or 10 showing, and you have less than that, If you have 16 or less than that, generally speaking, you need to take a hit. Because you soak up that card and maybe you save the king for the person to your left. So there's a lot of rules. I encourage you to read up on them before you go and sit down and play blackjack. If you want to go play a $5 table with an auto shuffler, that's fine. If you're going to play $25 a hand and you're going to have people playing with you and it's like an actual card shoe, please just ask the dealer what conventional wisdom says you should do. Talk to the players that are around you. Don't just start smacking. Don't start calling hits because like you think it's cool. Like, don't do it. I should now hop off my soapbox. All right, so we're gonna do one more. Baccarat, which is one of my new favorite games. So you have 3 bets when you play Baccarat. You have 3 bets. There's always like a bunch of like side bets and other random stuff. But you have player, you have banker, and you have tie. We're not going to get into the history and the stats. It sort of matters if you really know what you're doing, but I don't, so I'm not going to pretend. Ties pay 8-1. Ties do happen, but they're kind of rare, which is why they pay 8-1. Everything else is even money. Typically on a dealer, typically on a banker 6, it pays 1-2. So because this game is basically 50-50, the house takes like a rake essentially from banker bets. So we're gonna bet $100. We're gonna put it on player. The idea of this game is you pick which side, and then it's whichever side is closest to 9. If it's a double-digit number, the second number is the number. So if you have a king and a 4, so kings are 0, all faces are 0, everything else is their value. Aces are 1. So if you have a king and a 4, that's a 4. If you have 2 7s, that's a 14, also treated as a 4, if that makes sense. So we'll deal this and show you what's what. So player has 0, banker has 6. We're currently behind, ideally, right now. So you can see 0 and 6. Ideally, right now, what we want is like a 7, 8, or a 9. We get a 3. Not great. Okay, dealer has a 4. So both sides are going to get a card here. We're at an 8 and an 8. So it did actually tie. That's actually ridiculous. All right, screw it. We'll bet. You can bet tie. You can't bet all. Oh, you can't bet all 3. Oh, no. I want to get rid of that. Hold on. Clear that. And then we're going to bet 100 on that. We're going to put another on tie just for fun. So ace is 1. Banker gets a 3. We get another ace, but it's a 2. So they're at a 7. So banker's not going to take a card. We're going to take a card, though. So we get 5. We lose. So depending on, and I don't know all of them. It's like hard to remember all of it. But essentially, like, if the one you're not playing has a winning hand, then the other one gets a 3. If it's close and it's low, both sides get a third card. Everyone always gets 2. Sometimes a third card comes out. Sometimes for both. Sometimes for either. So we're just going to go for this one more time. So player 6, banker 3. We're in great shape. Even better shape. So we need the banker to get something less than 3 or a face card. So they get a face card. So that's great. So we're not going to take a card because we're already at 6. So if I hit draw, banker's just going to get one more. We need it to be a 3 or less. It's a 10. That's 0. Remember, 10s are 0s. So that's great. Very simple game. Like, incredibly simple game. It's going to run through a couple more hands really quick. So that's an 11. So which means that it's actually 1. Banker has a 2. Banker has a 3 now because of that ace. So 3-1. So both sides are going to get a card. So that's not great for us. So we need them to go over 9. So it's possible, I think. Yeah, 7. Yeah, 7 would bring them back to 0. So 7's the only thing that helps us right here. Didn't get it. So that's a 3, so we lose. We just played like 12 hands, down $200, but that's fine. I was mostly just messing around. It's incredibly easy to play. It's a lot of fun. It's like, I almost think of it like more simple blackjack because you don't really have any decisions to make. You make your bet, and what happens happens. There is no choosing to take another card. It's just the rules. Like, if certain numbers are certain numbers, there's always a card. So it's, like I said, I look at it kind of like blackjack, but with a lot less decision making. The other nice thing about it is, the table can play player, banker, tie, whatever they want to do. There's no betting that someone else can do that screws you up. It's just player, banker, so it's just those cards that come out. That's it. So it's not like a hit. Like, if I take a card like I would in blackjack, whether I should or shouldn't doesn't affect anybody else. It's just you make your choice. What it is what it is. And I don't think they have roulette on here. Oh, they do have roulette. Roulette is pretty simple. We have a little bit of time. We'll do roulette really fast. Roulette is literally just a ball spins around, lands in a number, you pick a number. All I'm going to talk about is the outside, because so this is a single zero wheel, which wild. You never find these in America. They're always double zeros. Sometimes you can get 3. So you can play, it's not letting me click the streets, which is weird. There we go. If I go on this side. Okay. So you can play single numbers. So with roulette, you can always put a single number on. Bet on like any. Oh, this one has music. Hell yeah. Let's turn that down really quick. There we go. Heck yeah. So you can always pick single numbers. You can pick in the corner. So if I put one here, it covers all 4 of those. You can pick 2 numbers, so that covers those 2. So you can put it in between 2 numbers, in between any 2 numbers. There's no way to do 3 numbers that are disconnected, but you can do the rows of numbers. That's called the street. So if you put it here, so if I put one right here, that covers 30, 29, and 28. So that's the street. It's a street bet. And then obviously, like I said, you can just pick single solo numbers. So put a couple more bucks out here. So this is the inside. This is nonsensical, so we're just gonna spin. There's strategies to roulette. We're not gonna get into those. So 16. Did I win? Did I have one on 16? I don't think so. Oh no, yeah, apparently I did. Okay, cool. Alright, so that's fun. So we're gonna actually, how do I pull that off? Pull that off. Alright, so that's a rebet. So now let's talk about the outside. So you can play black or red, even or odd. Then this first, this halves basically. So this all outside, this is gonna pay even money. So if I put 20 bucks down, it hits black, I get 20 bucks. Odd, 20 bucks, 20 bucks. I can play this half or this half. These basically are just like very close to a 50-50 shot. Then you can play the thirds. These pay 2 to 1. So I think it's going to be a black one in this row, in this section. So this pays 2 to 1. So $20, you win $40. So you're picking a third. So it's really easy to remember sort of what your odds are. If you remember, hitting one number is 35 to 1. 4 numbers is 11 to 1 because like it's broken into fourths. In between 2 numbers is 17. And then the rows are the same as the thirds. It's 2 to 1. So I think it's going to be a black number in this third, in this row. So I'm just going to double down and play those on that one. So not a great roulette strategy if you're trying to like cover a lot of numbers, but this is a great roulette strategy if you want like to kind of cover your ass, but also pay out big if you hit one of the numbers that you are like really wagering on. Because think about it, if 35 hits, so I would win the 36 to 1 on the 35. I would get $40 for the right row, $40 for it being at the right third, and another $20 for it being black. But like, let's say that it hits 32. You know, I would lose these chips on the inside, but I'm still gonna win $40 here and $40 here. Or let's say that it hits 8 black. I'm still going to get $20 because I'm picking black, and then $40 because I picked the right row. So you're doubling down on certain numbers, but you're also sort of hedging. Yeah, so there we go. Perfect example. So it hit 20 black. So I didn't hit these numbers and I didn't hit the third, but I got the right row. So the row hit, so I won $100. I didn't have $100 out there, I won $100. Your bets that hit stay out there, which is always nice. So that's roulette in a nutshell. Just you pick numbers and spin. Like I said, I like to do some sort of combo of like outsides and insides, so that like I kind of hedge against being wrong. But if I get the right number, then it's great. And that's roulette. So this Wizards of Odds is actually a pretty fun game. I might come back to this to practice different crap strategies and stuff before I go back to Vegas. But let me just, oops, bring you back to here. Well, that was fun. I hope for those listening that it wasn't too confusing without being able to see. I was trying to explain the numbers as best I could without you actually seeing it. I would suggest going to our YouTube to watch this one, because we are also going to be dropping a video of Greg and I going shopping at the liquor store, so that's going to get dropped as well. I apologize for any ums and pauses. Again, this one is very quick, so it's not going to get a heavy edit. It's gonna just be just sort of on there, so we didn't break our streak, and so that I could give you this lovely Jimmy Red single barrel, which gonna give a couple more tastes to, and then give you a analysis. Again, just really corn, sweet. It does have a burn. It's not the smoothest, but again, it's single barrel, so it's kind of not supposed to be. A few drops of water in this, or like dare I say, like a teeny ice cube, I think would open it up big time. And you'd get a lot more of those corn notes. I've actually tried it like that before with a little bit of water, and it just opens up those corn notes like entirely. So as is neat, I am gonna give it a 6.9. Feels high. It's good, but it's not great. 6.8, 6.7. We're gonna give it a 6.7. Still just, it's a beautiful amber color, just aged. I think it catches like 3 years in barrel, two or 3 years in barrel. Still just a really complex flavor. It's just not as smooth as I want it. So for complexity, it gets high marks. The burn, the lack of smoothness, again, you can blame the proof, but we've had other 113s that have been much smoother, less burn. So for those reasons, got to keep it out of the 7s. We're going to go that solid 6.7. And I wish all of you a happy end of September. We will see you again in October. Next episodes to come, obviously. And Greg and I are going to be back next Sunday, ready to rock and roll. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please go to the YouTube for this video and the next video that's going to be coming out. And enjoy the rest of your evening. Cheers.